I've met people like Rudy. Boomer Grigsby was a lot like a Rudy Reyes. Jared Allen was a lot like Rudy Reyes. So I mean, I played with guys that were real big personality dudes. I mean, dudes that walked in and lit up a room because they had that type of energy. They had that type of confidence. I mean, fuck, I remember Jared, who was my roommate, came back with a tattoo where he had like a little deer, kind of like with horns, tattooed right below his belly button. And I was like, "What's up with that?" He's like, "Oh, it's all you can eat under a buck."
Nice.
And so when we were out at the bar, he was like, he would just kind of like pull his pants down. They're like, "Is that a deer?" He's like, "It's a buck. It's all you can eat under a buck." And like there was just like,
I feel like that needs to be my next tattoo.
Dude, he had like he just I think he ended up getting it lasered off when he got married, but like just the hilarious energy. Like we got there's this cat we're friends with named Leor, who's a jeweler out in Vegas. He invited us to his wedding specifically because he knew we were fucking party starters. And like he brought us there. He's like, "I only invited you guys because I want you to fucking blow this thing up," and we fucking blew it up. So
that brings up an interesting point, though. Just to play devil's advocate here, on the other side of the coin, we know we talked about do you need to ask for a seat at the table, or can you be asked to sit at the table as well? In that situation, you were asked to come to the party, right? So are there some character traits about people that allows them, that air about them, that confidence, that assertiveness, that authenticity that people are drawn to, and they do get asked to sit at the table? Or is it more of a, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm drawing a blank now.
Well, there's another good old cliche. It's high tide rises all boats.
Yes.
Right? So if you can latch up your boat, or if you encounter somebody that's a high tide, like then I think what you do is you bring those people in because, they are high tide individuals. There's other people that are boat anchors. There's other people that'll, stomp holes in your boat and drown it slowly. There's other people that'll blow it up. So I think you have to be really smart about who you, bring into your circle, mm-hmm. and you have to assess those people. And I think the interesting thing about character is it's really hard to hide your character for long periods of time. I mean, so you can fool us for a little bit, you can fool us for a little bit longer, but eventually your true colors will always come through. Mm-hmm. And then once those true colors come through, then, and we know who you are, then all of a sudden, hey, then we're going to distance ourselves if you're not a good person. And, we've encountered that. And, when you encounter people that are, don't understand how to work well with others, that are, childish and that are dealing with their own demons, like it's better to just let those people go off and be angry like small kids getting time out in their rooms.
It's not worth the energy. And the word I was looking for was entitlement factor.
Entitlement factor. Yeah. Please explain.
Like, do people think that they are entitled to a seat at the table based on maybe who they are? You see Instagram now, I got 100,000 followers. I deserve to be asked to go to this event, or I deserve to be a part of your circle.
Sure. I would say so. I mean, I think people feel that whatever they've done coming into it, like whatever they're bringing to the table, has weight. And I'm sure like we get hit up all the time by different, Instagram influencers, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't fit within the, like the ethos and the model in which we're building, it doesn't make sense. Like I'm not going to have somebody out there pushing my stuff that's also pushing fit tea. Like it's just
quick Google search. There's a book called The H Factor of Personality. Why some people are manipulative, self-entitled, materialistic, and exploitive, and why it matters for everyone. Could be an interesting read. I don't know.
I think to go back to your point, that you encounter certain people that like are a high tide. Like if you meet somebody and you're like, man, this person's like, he's energetic, he's smart, he's got good vision. He might not be doing exactly what we're doing, but there's synergy between us. I think what you do is you find people that have good synergy and that can continue to push and challenge, and then you just got to kind of ramp that stuff up. I think if you're sitting around with a whole bunch of people that all they're doing is cheering and talking about what a great job you're doing and not challenging and not pushing, then I think your shit gets stale.
Two thoughts on that, John. One, within building a team, like we had those party starters, the high tide, you could say, but there's also positive members within the team that get the job done. Like going back to sports references, and then what we saw of poor head coaching if they're saying, oh, this is our best athlete on the team, he needs to be a leader, and forcing him into a speaker role that he hasn't quite developed that skill, or it doesn't suit his personality when he just wants to play and be the best teammate. So there's still, it doesn't have to be that wave of energy, that you can still be a positive force to continue to rise the tide. And then the second piece is on that term. Like, there's a term that was introduced through Harrison Bernstein that I've latched onto, and his coach, Greg Williams, candor. So it may be seemed and taken as negative, but it is a constructive words or adjustments or aim for you, meaning, I know you're better than this. We need you here. What about this? So it's an expectation that you're delivering honest feedback to your teammates that may feel harsh. And then, I mean, it could be on them to how they take it, or on you to how you deliver candor, but it's raising that level of expectation of your team that may be, a little harsh, versus the all positive, like rah, go around the corner and stay. So like that is a very deep term that I held on to from our conversation with Harrison Bernstein, that, man, good coaches know how to develop that candor within their athletes and teammates. And then some of the NFL coaches that you've continued to speak positive about, man, we know they held you to a higher standard than you may. I know you had that drive within you, but still they knew you could just get a little bit more out of you by giving you honest feedback.
Yeah, I mean, being a professional coach, especially on like a sports team where, your job is dictated based on wins and losses and trying to do this. I mean, it's different than, like, let's say, coaching athletes in terms of, here in the weight room and performance. Like, now all of a sudden now you're trying to get people to play at their peak level. You're balancing things like family and contracts and this and all a million different things. And now you have to get all those guys to work in concert. And, I mean, the NFL is interesting. But I'm always amazed with the the volatility of NBA teams, because those guys are such big egos, because they're such interesting athletes, and they come from like such different mindsets and different places and different skill sets. And these guys, when they go to a team, some like James Harden, goes over to Brooklyn from Houston, and you got these guys constantly moving around, or you have a guy like LeBron who goes to the Lakers, and it's just amazing where they bring in, and it's really the fact that like one player can make a huge difference in basketball. I mean, I always thought that one player did make a difference in the NFL until I saw Tom Brady go to Tampa Bay and realized that fucking one player can take a team that's maybe going to make the playoffs and turn them into a Super Bowl contender. But in basketball, you take a team that, might be kind of mediocre, you bring a LeBron